Hey everyone, JR here. This video is going to be about the very beginning of One Piece and the morals and principles illustrated therein. I'll be taking the time to go through some of the manga along with you, although I still recommend you check out One Piece on your own if you haven't already, so as to avoid the spoilers caused by this series. I myself am not currently up to date with the manga, so fear not. You won't be spoiled even later on in this series if you're not up to date with the latest chapters. With that out of the way, let's begin. Here's my One Piece box set number 1, which contains volumes 1 to 23. I have to tell you how excited I am to do this series. I'm so interested in what happens in One Piece as it continues, let alone how interested I already am in everything I've consumed so far. The story of One Piece starts differently in the manga than in the anime, but both eventually dovetail and inform the audience of the same events, albeit in a slightly different order. Either way, at the start of the story, we meet our protagonist by the name of Monkey D. Luffy. In the manga, after some outrageous events regarding Luffy sticking a knife under his eye to prove how he's not scared of danger or harm, there's a friendly pirate crew by the name of red-haired pirates that are there to take Luffy under their wing. Without going over all the details of the beginning of the story, we can already analyze what's going on here. It seems Luffy's got a dream to be a pirate, and not just any pirate, but he wants to be at the top of that list and become the king of the pirates. What's the king of the pirates? It's the person who accomplishes what Gold Roger did: circumnavigate the world and explore all that it has to offer. At the end of the trip, they're said to be the treasure of Gold Roger on the very last island. The trip so long, grueling, and treacherous that many lives have been lost in the attempt to do what Roger did. No one's ever been able to do the same as Roger and his crew. This is where our journey begins with the Straw Hat Pirates. Just before Shanks, the captain of the red-haired pirates, leaves Luffy's hometown village of Windmill Village, he gives Luffy a gift of great importance. This is the straw hat that Shanks has worn throughout his whole journey. It's very important to Shanks, and yet he entrusts it to this young boy. What can we glean from this already? Well, firstly, it seems like Luffy's on a mission to get exploring. Luffy also seems to look up to Shanks. We know that Luffy's very adamant and ready for action as a pirate, as he proved by stabbing himself under the eye earlier, giving him his famous scar under his left eye. This lends credence to the fact that Luffy is ready to achieve his dream, no matter what the danger or cost is to his life. Why would Luffy want to explore the world and see what's out there? Mostly just because it's fun to adventure. Although in all seriousness, as much as Luffy's all about having fun, that doesn't mean he doesn't take things seriously, if needs be. I won't recap all of the happenings of the story up to this point, but I will mention that the first moral of the story is right around the corner in the next arc, Syrup Village. I'd like to end this video at Syrup Village, not just because it's the hometown of Usopp, our next introduced character, but because this is the perfect spot to mention the first moral of the story. The obvious moral of this boy's story is the boy who cried wolf. If you're unfamiliar, there's an old folk tale about a lying boy who didn't speak truthfully regarding wolf attacks. One day, the boy had some dire emergency messages to relay to his community regarding actual danger, but due to all of his previous lies about wolves, no one believed him. Ichiro Oda inserts Usopp into this story as a perfect amalgamation of the aforementioned story, combined with Oda's uncanny ability to make us laugh or cry, depending on what he's setting up in his story. In this case, we're being led to not trust Usopp's words. A second moral, which can be found in this short arc, is that of the classic, not to judge a book by its cover, aka not to superficially judge based on little information or surface-level looks alone. This same moral story is shown when first meeting Zoro as well, when we learn of how dastardly and cruel he supposedly is, only to later find out that he's a caring, however determined and relentless swordsman with principles. Although the crew, consisting of just Zoro and Nami so far, are not too keen on Usopp's obvious lies, in the end, they do trust him overall because he's shown that he has principles, which he sticks to. Usopp may be a liar, but he's not carrying out deliberate wrongdoings or causing others harm. He's merely lying in order to deal with the pain of having lost his mother to disease and his father to the seas. As Usopp, as Usopp's dad, is also on a voyage as a great pirate himself. Yasopp belongs to the same crew as the red-haired Shanks pirates. In this video, I want to talk about principles. A principle can be defined as a comprehensive and fundamental law, doctrine, or assumption, a rule or code of conduct, habitual devotion to right principles, as in a man of principle. And lastly, the laws or facts of nature underlying the work of an artificial device. Etymologically speaking, the word comes from Latin principium, which means a beginning or a commencement. We can find further information by looking at the Latin genitive word principis, the noun use of the adjective meaning that takes first, or first things first. Shining light on new information we just gleaned from the word derivation of the word principle, we can now see how all a principle really refers to is that which you hold dear, the top of the list, the thing that you won't back down on. Usopp may not have all of his truth-telling capabilities fully realized, but he does have his principles set straight at the very least. He knows what he holds most dear, he knows he can't just lie to those that trust him without consequence, and even though he may be scared and he may want to run from a fight, he has enough bravery to stick to his principles, even in the face of danger, even when he's completely lost in fear. Even if his leg shakes and his voice quivers, Usopp remains steadfast in his principles. Thank you.